Hi, Assalamualaikum to our lecturer, Madam Fadila, and our fellow friends. Today, we are going to present our case study, which is about inflation, and the country that we choose is Argentina. This is our team member, Ni Erisa Kasrina, Aliyah Maisarah, Nur Nadira, Siti Nur Umairah, Nur Nasha Emilia, and Erin Salziana. Here is our table of content. First one, we have introduction. The second one, we have background of Argentina. The third one is inflation data of Argentina. The fourth, trend and issue related to inflation of Argentina. 5, effect of the inflation toward Argentina. 6, overcoming the problem of inflation using fiscal policy. 7, other necessary and related information. 8, recommendation on how to solve the problem. And the last, we have the conclusions. The first one is introduction. Introduction is a definition of inflation, which is the inflation has give a big impact on a country, which is the country we choose is Argentina. Argentina is one of the most country that has been faces this inflation problem for years now. In this report, we also analyze the cause and the solution of the inflation problem in this country.
So next is background of the Argentina. Argentina is a vast country located in the southern part of South America. It is the 8th largest country in the world, roughly 1/3 the size of the United States and the second largest in South America after Brazil. Argentina is bordered by the Andes Mountains and Chile to the west. To the east of the Andes, the country's interior is a flat, rich grassland known as the Pampas, while the eastern border of the country is the Atlantic Ocean and Bolivia is to the northwest and Paraguay is to the north. Furthermore, the nation is divided into 4 regions, which the Andes, the North, the Pampas and Patagonia. The Pampas is the agricultural heartland. So next is demographic profile. In this part consists into 3: population, economy, and government. First is population. In contrast to Mexico and South American nations like Peru and Ecuador, Argentina has a sizable urban immigrant population and less indigenous inhabitants. According to World Meters, elaboration of the most recent United Nations data, as of Saturday, June 15, 2024, Argentina has a population of 46,045,357. Up to 95% of the people with European ancestry, mostly from Italy, Spain, and Germany. So next is economy. Next, after Brazil, the economy of Argentina is the second biggest national economy in South America. Argentina is a rising nation with highly educated populace, a farming industry focused on exports, and a diverse industry base. Argentina is fortunate to have abundant natural resources. Argentina's economy has always performed quite unevenly, with harsh recession interspersed with period of rapid economic expansion, especially since the late 20th century. Poverty and income inequality have grown over this time. It had access both France and Italy and was on par with Canada and Australia. Next is their government. This nation is Federal Republic. The current leader of this country is Javier Garrido Milei, born 22 October 1970. Is an Argentine politician and economist who has served as the president of Argentina since December 2023. In Argentina, the president serves as both head of state and head of government. Argentina's government is a presidential representative democratic republic operating under a federal structure. Besides, the president is the one who also exercises the executive power. Legislative power, which has the authority to enact law, is based in the national complex. The Supreme Court and the lower national tribunals comprise the judiciary, which is separate from both the executive and the legislature.
So, this is the inflation data from 2013 until 2023 that we have gathered. From 2013 to 2016, Argentina experienced initial volatility in inflation characterized by the sharp rises and slight dips. Between 2017 and 2018, there was relative stability, albeit with persistently high rates. In 2019, inflation surged significantly due to political uncertainty. The year 2020 saw a modest decrease in inflation, influenced by the economic impacts of COVID-19. However, from 2021 to 2023, inflation steadily increased, culminating in hyperinflation. The primary causes of Argentina's inflation include persistent fiscal deficits, currency devaluation, economic mismanagement, political instability, and a heavy burden of external debt. The implications of sustained high inflation in Argentina are severe, leading to economic instability and significant decrease in purchasing power. These challenges highlight the urgent need to comprehensive economic reforms. To stabilize economy and curb inflation, Argentina urgently needs reforms focusing on reducing fiscal deficits, improving debt management, and implementing effective monetary policies.
Next, the effect inflation towards Argentina. First is cost of living. It affects people or individual and household from a socio-economic spectrum. This financial pressure for basic necessity, for example, food, housing, and healthcare receipts. The second effect is purchasing power. Fast inflation is further reducing people's and also making it more challenging for them to pay a necessity. Next, the effect. This inflation also affect the business operation and investment. The company find it challenging to keep steady price for their product due to rising expenses for goods service and raw materials. The firms are forced to make ongoing adjustment to their budget and financial planning. Next, this inflation affect the employment and wage. It means a worker ability to purchase necessity becomes more difficult, like to pay competitive salary and retain staff. And the last one is the overall economic growth is foreign and domestic investment are essential for economic expansion. It's to produce a difficult economic climate that inhibits expansions to counteract inflation.
Overcoming inflation with fiscal policy. Despite all these challenges, fiscal policy can still become an effective instrument of inflation in Argentina. A fair way of dealing the root causes that propels inflation is through a combination of fiscal measures such as reduction of government spending, raising taxes, and improving transparency and accountability in budgets. First, expenditure. The main problems include too much expenditure, eroding the ability of government to keep monetary supply low enough to control inflation. Thus, the government should consider the option defined as the ways to minimize unnecessary consumption of resources and become able done by studying or preparing a well-balanced budget and effective implementation. Second, government spending adjustment. To help stabilize the economy and bring inflation under control, one of the ways to overcoming inflation through government spending adjustment in Argentina is offer heavy funds for subsidizing services provisions. However, there are strategies that can assist the government to encourage less and additional revenues such as tax changes and increasing tariff of imports, which will create more jobs and decrease inflationary forces that negatively affect the economy. Next, taxation policies. One of the most important taxation policies enacted to counter inflation is imposing tax on capital gains on transactions involving real estate. Therefore, by increasing taxes, it means that the deficit will decrease, hence a little need to print more money, which helps in controlling inflation. Last, subsidies and policy services. The government may impose tooling, providing financial assistance to selective areas of the economy or industries to minimize the impact of rising prices of goods and services. Moreover, the government of Argentina has An alternative of fiscal policy to discourage inflation by modernizing and reforming public services, which constitute an integral part in the economy. For example, any spending in healthcare service to cut the cost of treatment some diseases to citizens and improve roads, bridge, and transportation system, for instance, will help reduce transport costs and ease the movement of goods and services, whilst minimizing inflation or reducing wages.
The next one is monetary policies in Argentina. The monetary policies in Argentina plays an important role for the country itself. The Central Bank of Argentina, which is BRCA, has a big responsible to implementing a good monetary system in that country. The next one is Central Bank Action. The BCRA handle the foreign exchange market, and also they manage the bank and the financial institution in the country. And the last one is international trade impacts. This international trade impacts has influencing many factors in this country, include the agricultural products. These international trade impacts also influence the country investment and the country economic growth.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Alhamazhar binti Zulkifli. I will talk about how to solve the inflation problems by two directions. The first direction is the immediate ways to reduce inflation rates by controlling the price of certain necessity. We can see this by the president of Argentina was controlling the price of goods so that at least 1.650 of a shopping product in supermarket will be regulated by the government. The next one is strategic measure to stabilize the country's economy by change in budget policy. We can see this by the President of Argentina, Javier Milei, was convincing that the formula of drastic cuts the national spending will help the country and solve that problem of inflation. In summary, we can see that the government of Argentina have do all their best to solve the inflation problem. The last one is conclusion. By doing this assignment, we can improve our knowledge about issues related on inflation that Argentina is experiencing and the way how their government solve it. However, we can know how the importance to control or manage the inflation rate from year to year, and we also know how to analyze the data on inflation. That's all from us. Thank you.